There we go.
There you go.
Oh, well, welcome everybody. Thank you for our technical challenges we had there. Thank you for staying on and not going away. I appreciate that. Tonight is an incredible night. I've thought about this all day. The fact that Pastor Goad, PT, was going to be on this with me tonight. Just it means the world to me because this guy means the world to me. He's done so much. His whole family has done so much for me.
You're
And in
so
fact, Tim, I was going to read the excerpt from my book where I talk about you, but I would bawl like a baby, so I'm not going to do it. And
uh,
I'm gonna let you read it when it comes out. But
okay.
I had it and I kept reading it. I go, nope, this is not going to work. I'm just going to continue to,
Oh,
and we'd be here for 30 minutes of me crying, getting through it. But I'm just going to speak from my heart. So when I first met PT, he said to all of us, we're going to walk the beaches of the world together. And at first I thought, well, that's just kind of a stage talk. That's just something he says, so on and so forth. Literally, this man and I have walked the beaches of the world from that place in Italy on the hill. Was that Santorina?
yes.
Yeah, all the way to Cabo, everywhere, all the Saint Islands, Saint Martin, Saint. We've hit them all. We've walked the beaches, but there's one in particular I want to talk about, and that was we were in Cabo, and I was not I was sober, but I was okay. I was out of the woods for sure with my sobriety, but still I like to get away when the partying began. And uh, Tim and I walked down this beach in Cabo, and we walked and we walked and we walked, and he was saying so many incredible things to me that I couldn't stop him. Now, keep in mind, I run 26.2 miles for fun, but I was worn out and it was hot. Oh my gosh, it was hot. And I was like, please tell me at some point this man's going to turn around. And I'll remember that for the rest of my life, Tim. And finally, you said, "Where are we?" And you looked around. I said, "We probably ought to start heading back because we walked so long." And you shared so much wisdom with me, and you knew I needed to get away. You knew I needed to be away from the bunch because that was just one of those moments. And I don't mind people partying; I love it, but it was just one of those moments where I had to get away, and that touched my heart. And that's just there's so much I could say about him, about Tim, and what he's done for our family. If you'd have told me 13 years ago, hey, one of your best friends in life is a pastor, I'd have probably wanted to get in a fist fight with you. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Why would I be best friends with a
Hilarious.
pastor? But here it is. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him, pray about him. At
Yeah.
least I love him something. That's how much he's meant to my life. And I'm just so honored and blessed that he's going to be on this call with us tonight because this is the kickoff of everything we're doing. My book's coming out. By the way, I do need to make the announcement. Our workbook, our 12-week workbook, will come out May 1st. The I Can't Quit workbook. It's a contract that you and I signed together. If you're not going to quit till you hit your goals, I'm excited to get this out to you guys. It has Tim Goad written all over it, all the phrases, everything. And so I'm excited to get it out to everybody. But
So
tonight
beautiful.
we have the one and only Pastor Tim Goad. He's busy. He's got to talk to us because he's got an event that's going on right now at his church. So he's got to talk to us for a little bit and then go attend and serve other people like he always does. But Tim, thank you so much. I love you. Thanks for just jumping on tonight. And the floor is yours. I don't care what you say. Say whatever you want.
You are so awesome, man. Well, you're one of my heroes, Paul. I love you. And I love Tamara.
Thank you.
And when I met you, I knew there was something so special.
Mm.
And I've watched you succeed at levels that most people could only dream of. And I'm watching you now build a future that most people would be afraid of. But your courage is so huge. And the fact that you write a book that I can't quit, I get it. And I know that to be true. And I will only tell you this that in the company that you were with before, I went to the owner and said, "This is your next superstar." And so the fact that everybody's on this call tonight, you're in a special place at a special time for a special moment, for a special mission to
Mm.
make a difference that you may not even understand or haven't even thought about. I don't believe that your life on this call tonight is about money. I believe it's about mission. I believe it's about calling. I believe it's about purpose. I believe it's about the right place. And I believe prosperity is just ahead of you and your greatest days ahead of you. I would like for you to write down, if you're taking notes, and I hope you are, that the rest of my life will be the best of my life. The rest of my life will be the best of my life. This team tonight has destiny on it. You have a huge mission. You're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. And I love the fact that Paul Roberts knows how to not only bring prosperity and money into your life, but he knows how to bring mission and purpose and destiny and being a group of people that are called together at this time to make a difference. I love real estate. I love homes. I think a lot of people sell houses. I think you all sell homes. Houses are buildings. Homes are places where dreams are built,
Mm.
marriages are built, relationships are built, children are raised, and everything in your life matters because of what you do. It's not some financial transaction that you do. I think it's a moment in people's lives that are so valuable. And you're helping them step into the biggest single purchase most people will ever make in their life. Your mission is so important, and it really does matter. What separates you from everybody else on this call tonight, and when I met Paul, I saw this. And by the way, when I met Daniel, I saw this. What separates you from everybody else is your picture of tomorrow, your vision, your dream, your purpose, your value. Tonight, I hope you know how valuable you are. And so as you look at your life, uh, you've got to realize that your picture of tomorrow changes everything. It's so incredibly amazing. I'm not trying to just be positive, even though I'm a very positive person. I want you to know I believe that you, with Paul, are going to do something that you guys are going to make history. Books will be written about you because of what you know, because of what you do, more importantly, who you are. Who you are is more important than what you do because what you do is driven by who you are. Your passion, your dream, your values, your virtues, your calling, your bigger vision of what you want out of your life. So you're helping people right now, creating an environment. Paul Roberts is an environment expert. He knows how to create culture. I've watched him develop hundreds of people. And not only he succeeded, but they succeeded. And so I am so excited tonight that you have joined this team and that you're inviting other people. And I want to challenge you tonight to start seeing yourself as bringing 10 to 20 new people to this team that will make the statement, I will not quit.
Mm.
I'm going to reach my dream. I'm going to reach my goal. I'm going to get there wherever I get. So when you realize that what you're doing, you're building a space and a place where people homeschool, where they build relationships, where they change lives, where they get healthier. It is amazing the mission that you are on. And I don't believe anybody on this call, it will ever be said of you that you only sold one house a year. I believe that you are going to get in the position, in the place, making the difference, finding the people. By the way, the people are going to find you. And I believe that you can find yourself in a position where you are moving as many homes as you want to move. EXP It's your time. It's your place. So as you begin to believe and to begin to reach out, you're going to create a culture where people can do four powerful things real quickly. And I got to run to another meeting. Number one, where people can create positive change. When I met Paul Roberts, he was winning, but he was winning at a level that was powerful, but I knew there was way more inside of him. Tonight, I can't wait to sit across the table from you and look you in the eyes and find out what your potential is. So you create positive change. So I want to ask you tonight, homework, what are 5 changes that you could make in your life, in your finances, in your family, in your fitness, in your future? What are 5 changes that you can make in your life that would just cause you to go to a whole nother level? Leaders create positive change. By the way, in any industry, they do the right thing at the right time for the right reason in the right way. They do the right thing at the right time for the right reason in the right way without anybody telling them they have to do it. I will not quit.
Mm.
You make that decision. The second thing is they do is they cast clear and compelling vision. Man, when I got around Paul, I realized he was a visionary. I believed and listened to him as he talked about his vision for the future, his heart for the people. You see, I love it when a leader has people that love him, but I love it more when a leader loves his people. I can tell you, it may sound a little corny, but Paul Roberts loves you. He believes in you. He believes in your story of overcoming. And because he is overcoming, he wants other people to overcome. Cast clear and compelling vision. Where will you be 6 months from now? Where will you be 1 year from now? What will be in your bank account? What will you be giving? What trips will you go on? When you stand at the airport and you have tickets in your hands, where will your seats be and where will you be headed? Paul, yes, we went to Italy together. Not only were we in Sorrento and we hung off the side of a cliff and had lunch, but we walked through the Vatican together and we had a blast. We took pictures that I still look at often, and I love my friend. By the way, did I tell you that life never gets better than relationships? As you move out and move homes, remember you're building a friend. You're building somebody that you'll walk with for life and you'll stand with them and you'll make sure they don't quit either. So all of us have a calling and a demand on our lives. And I just want you to step into that. The third thing is they solve problems. They reduce conflict. You'll be remembered for the problems you create or the problems you solve. If you own a company, what would you give for 3 incredible problem solvers? I reached out around the world. We had 180 nations. We fed, we built orphanages, we delivered medicine. I had 80,000 at-risk kids in a program in the US. Why did I do that? Because my father was homeless and he lived on the streets. And I wanted to deliver hope, hope, solving problems. Can I ask you a question? My name's PT. I love you. What are 1 or 2 problems that you have in your life that you need wisdom to rise above? What challenges could keep you from reaching your dreams? One of the reasons I respect and admire Paul Roberts is that he has never allowed a problem or a challenge to keep him from his destiny. Get close to him. You'll hear his story. Some of it he won't be able to share. He wouldn't share it. Great leaders don't share negative stuff, but they will share enough for you to know that you can overcome. You can rise above anything in your life, anything that's broken, anything that needs to be replaced, anything you need to rise above. You can do that. The fourth thing is they raised leaders. Paul loves raising leaders. He loves creating culture. I watched him. I worked with him. We did it together. And we want to do it with you. I want to see everybody on this call get 10 people in your team really quickly. I want you to see 5 cities where you can go out and contact people and help other people make a massive difference. And that's just me. Paul really has a bigger vision for that, and I'll catch up. But it's up to you to decide, what will you do? Leaders have to be in the right place, and then they find the right purpose. They find the right process. Tonight, you're going to hear about a process and a system. People rise to the level of their dreams and they fail at the level of their systems. What are your systems? What are your habits? What are your thought habits? What are you doing today? I just got to tell you, I believe in Paul more than I could ever tell you. He's a man that's learned how to succeed at life, which is the hardest, family, at business, and he's learned how to succeed in his values. Paul's going to help you laugh a lot more. He's going to help you reach a life that honestly, you're going to have such a legacy that you leave. You're going to make a difference. And he's going to help you reach your financial goals. I'm just so honored to be on this call with you tonight, Paul. I love you more than you know. I believe in you. I am one of your heroes that I love, and you're my hero. And I want you to know I will not quit. We're going to do this together. I love you guys tonight. I can't wait to meet you in person. I can't wait to hug you. I can't wait to hang out with you. And I just got to tell you, Paul, how much I admire you. This is going to be a great night, man. I love you, friend.
I love you, man. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
bro. I love you. Thank you.
You bet. All right. Um, I don't know where to go from there. uh, I'm supposed to talk about business stuff. It's going to be difficult. I didn't think this through, Pastor Chris Hill. Um, so I knew when I met PT that my life would forever change, and it did. I just followed him. I shut up a lot and just listen. That's just, he talks about me having wisdom. I don't. I stole it all from him. I'm real good at just being quiet, shutting up, and listening to great people, and then trying to understand it in my own life and go from there. But when I found this opportunity, the whole time Daniel Ing was talking to me about this opportunity, I was texting him, Pastor Goad, under the table, so Daniel didn't think I was being rude. And I texted in capital letters, I found it. And what I mean, I found Daniel Ing, We Partners, and of course, uh, EXP. And EXP is a company, but what's important is the Glenn Sanfords of the world, the Brent Goes, the Gene Fredericks, uh, incredible people. I mean, I was like, yeah, I can hitch my wagon to them. And I called Pastor Goad and I said, let me tell you about Gene, because I watched all of Gene's videos. Let me tell you about Brent, because I watched all of Brent's videos. Let me tell you about Glenn. This founder is amazing. I mean, this guy is top notch. He's really good. You don't grow to 90,000 people by accident. He's a problem solver, right? And so Pastor goes, let's go for it. Let's do it. And I said, I'm on, man. So we went hardcore. But why did I go hardcore? Well, a couple of things. Number one is is there an opportunity to get leads? Okay. And that was one of the first things Daniel said is yes, you can get leads. And we have a CRM that will feed you leads. We have a CRM that doesn't sleep. You go to sleep, it's still working for you. Okay. As I'm talking to you right now, my CRM is reaching out to people and helping me generate leads. In fact, we're about to close on a $1.4 million deal that me and Carolyn are doing. And that's because of the leads. Okay. Now, Carolyn and I have done a great job talking to the customer. I'm not taking anything away there, but you got to have leads, got to stay busy. Number two, education and training. Absolutely have to have it. Now, education and training, everyone screams and yells from the rooftops. We have the best education and training in the world. None of that matters if you don't work on people. And Pastor Goad said something, and I want to reiterate it. Raise leaders. You have to raise leaders. From the moment I met him, he looked at me and goes, raise leaders. Quit training on the X's and O's. Raise leaders. Teach them how to be better fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts. Teach them how to be leaders. Because when you teach them how to be leaders, their self-image rises, their self-worth rises, then they can take care of the education and training and not any second sooner. Doesn't matter how great the education and training is. For example, Kyle Larson has one of the fastest cars in NASCAR. Paul Roberts cannot jump in that car and I'm not going to get in first place on a race. It's not going to happen. Okay. I can't take advantage of what that team has built, right? Same goes for education and training. You can't take advantage of what Glenn has built. World-class training. That I shouldn't say Glenn. Glenn is a delegator of, he lets his leaders run the company. And the leaders have come together and built world-class education and training, bar none, the best in the world. But it's absolutely worthless if you're not working on your self-image and your self-worth. Okay. Number three, equity. This one excited me. I called PT and I said, hey, man, I can't give equity, but you can get equity from the company day one. You can be an owner in this company. You and I get to be owners together. And I was like, man, this is unheard of. See, my last business that I sold, I wasn't able to give out equity. We couldn't figure it out. We tried a couple of times, but it just never came together. And it breaks my heart that the warriors that fought so hard to get me to a level to where I could sell a company, they didn't have the equity. And when I heard that Glenn has built a program to give everybody equity, I said, oh, dear Lord, I'm going to mess this up. I'm going to invite everybody in the world. There's 5 ways you can earn equity. I'm not going to go through all of them, but just doing transactions, you can get $16,000 in company stock. $16,000 in company stock. I know a young lady out in California. She got her first $16,000 in stock and she did it again. That turned out to be what she ended up doing. She had $900,000. She pulled out. No kidding. The stock split. It went crazy. She pulled 900,000 out and bought her a dream home in Hawaii. So she has her home in California and Hawaii. And I've met this young lady. She's incredible. In fact, we'll have her on one of our calls soon. So this has the ability for you to have equity. You get your first transaction, you get equity, so on and so forth. I'm not going to go over all of them, but it is out of this world. And then finally, the most important, revenue share. We've all worked for companies. And when we work for those companies, we tend to tell our friends, hey, come over here and work. And we get nothing for it. We get a pat on the back. Way to go. Thanks for inviting Jimmy. Thanks for inviting Chris. I appreciate you. But we get nothing for it. Here, we get revenue share. We get to share the revenue when that person does a transaction. We don't have to wait 4 years to become a broker. And are you ready for this? This is what got me. The brokers work for us. I was like, I'm in, because I've met some brokers and our brokers are great, but I'm talking, I've did some interviewing. I talked to some other brokers and they're not that good at leadership. They think they are because they passed a test. When you pass a test, that doesn't make you a good leader. Okay. Especially if you pass it the first time. If you brag about passing it the first time, chances are you're not a great leader. Great leaders will fail that thing several times. So I was like, wait a minute, the brokers work for us. And he said, yeah. And not only do the brokers work for you, there's 2,500 employees that have a vested interest in you doing well that will help you. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to mess this up. I mean, I can't quit texting Pastor Goad. I'm like, Pastor Goad, you don't understand. PT, this is insane what we have at our fingertips. And he was getting more excited. He was waiting for the meeting to end with me and Daniel just so I could call him. But you get to share the revenue. Now, I don't like breaking down the numbers and, hey, you'll earn XYZ if they do this or XYZ if you do that. I encourage you not to be that way. What I encourage you to do is bring people in, let the system, leverage the system, teach them how to do transactions, and then you'll get to share in the revenue. Don't get worked up on dollar for dollar. My old business was the exact same way. And every time someone would break down what they were earning off another person, I was like, you're gone. You're never going to reach the amount of people that I've brought into my business. It's never going to happen. You cannot look at it individual that way. It's transactional. It does not work. Your company will die and you will die inside of it. What I want you to do is learn about that person. Figure out what they're excited about. Figure out what makes them move, right? Get to know the person. Don't the commissions take care of themselves. The overrides, the revenue share takes care of itself. It will take care of itself, I promise you. Last year we paid out I forget what the number was, 197 million in revenue share to people like you and I. I met a gentleman in Cabo. He's received 47 million in revenue share. And he's an incredible man. But listen to me. He's not some crazy charismatic. He's a hardcore worker and just keeps inviting people. That's all he's doing, right? Anybody can do this just by inviting people, leveraging the system, let it work for you. It is the easiest way to build a business. I built this exact same business in insurance and sold it for a lot of money. I barely graduated high school. I can barely spell, but I was able to achieve that because I leveraged what was there. And I will teach you how to leverage what's there. But more importantly, we're going to build relationships. Because at the end of the day, and Pastor Goad said it, PT said it, where did he say it? Life never gets better than relationships. Life never gets better than relationships. Now, there's probably some of you right now saying, hey, I'm broke. I need money. I got to make money. And you're thinking, I don't care about relationships. I was the same way. I was the same way. Back in 2005, when Fitz introduced me to this business, this is what that man said to me. He looked me in the eyes. He goes, the biggest enjoyment you're going to get, Paul, out of business is this. And I said, what's that? And I'm excited. I'm ready to, like, how much money is going into my account is what I'm thinking. He said, the biggest excitement, the biggest enjoyment you'll get is watching other people grow. And I thought to myself, this guy's a fool. I want to see my bank account grow. But he was right. Years later, when I started making a lot of money, the greatest enjoyment of all is watching other people grow. We have a meeting on Wednesdays in our Plano office, thanks to Daniel Ing, and we're watching people grow before our eyes. And I get the biggest enjoyment out of that. Money's coming. Take a deep breath. You're going to do fine here. You're going to make money. Build relationships. Build friendships that last. Get to know people. Understand them. And I promise everything else works itself out. Now, there's a lot more I can tell you about this wonderful organization, but it's best if I just leave it at that. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. I want to share more with you. I just first off, I want to say thank you to Colin Hugh, who introduced me to Daniel. I don't know what I was going to do. I just had no direction. I was finishing one chapter of my life. And there's a guy on here right now that he told me to go to my church and build a running club. And I never did that. I'm sorry. But I found an incredible man by the name of Daniel who said, I want to change 3 generations of people. And I said, wow, my pastor says the same thing. And so thank you, Colin, for introducing me to this incredible company, these incredible people. It's been an honor. Thank y'all so much for getting on and listening to PT. This is what I know about him. When he gets to know you and gets to meet you, he doesn't let up, and he expects greatness out of you. He does it all through love, but he will speak into your life like you never thought before. Just like I said earlier, when we were walking down the beach in Cabo, I don't even know how many years ago that was. It was probably 10, 12 years ago. and we're walking down the beach in Cabo, and the wisdom that he shared with me about life. One thing he said to me that really made me mad, he said, "You need to work on you first, work on you being a better husband. And when you become a better husband, the business will follow." And I was like, "No, Tim, I don't want that. My wife doesn't obey me." That's what I was thinking in my head. I tell her, she's like, "Don't listen at all." But that's what he was trying to get me away from. He goes, "Fall back in love with her. Fall back in love with her. Start over, you know, build that first and everything else will follow." Sure enough, it has. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, the 12-week workbook is done. It's going to hold you accountable for 12 weeks. If you join our business, that comes free with who we are. It'll be in our community. It's also a 12-week workbook for people outside of real estate. And so I will charge for that. And just so everybody understands, every bit of money I earn for the book or every bit of money I earn for the workbook goes straight to G5, Pastor Goad's church, because half of the book, he's going to read some of it and say, "Hey, I told him that." But more than half the book's him, other than my mother and everybody else that's in the book. So that's coming out May 1st. We're excited about, and I'm just like such a God moment, because this is coming out May 1st at the exact same time. EXP, like it always does, like Glenn Sanford always does, he's rolling out something massive, phenomenal, that starts May 1st. I'm not even going to tell you about it. You don't even need to know about it, but here's what I can tell you. Invite people. Invite people into the revenue share. Like Pastor Goad said, get 10 people, your life will change. Okay. It'll absolutely radical. Now I say 12 people. He said 10. I don't want to disobey my pastor, but it's 12. Get you 12 real quick and watch your life begin to change. Again, reach out to me. Let me put my phone number in. Well, I think everybody's got my number. I've got everybody's number for sure. But thank you so much for jumping on. I appreciate you. Love you. And I love what we're going to be able to do together. Adios.